So this is how you become president in Zimbabwe. Zanu PF has officially endorsed extending President Mnangagwa's term to 2030, which I cannot stress this enough, is absolutely categorically not how term limits work. But here's the thing. When you control the party, the parliament, and the military, constitutional becomes a feeling. But meanwhile, Vice President Chiwenga is somewhere in Zimbabwe drafting a very strong worded memo that starts with, "Dear Emmerson, we had a deal." The 7 war veterans that are left, the act for people who believe that it worked Mnangagwa into power in 2017, are now calling for uprisings. When your own revolution veterans tell you to leave, that's not a succession crisis, it's a performance review. But this is how you become president in Zimbabwe. Let's start with what your climb is. At the very top, you're the National People's Congress, the supreme decision-making body that meets every 5 years to make decisions that were actually made 6 months earlier in a closed-door meeting. Below that, you have the Central Committee, which is about 350 members now. They meet every quarter. This is where the actual political competition happens because these positions aren't all appointed. You need provincial backing, grassroots work, strategic marriages, and the ability to know whose campaign needs funding. Then there is the Politburo, 49 members. Every single member is appointed by the president. Learned their lesson in 1984, when open elections almost resulted in Maurice Nyabumbo defeating Simon Mzenda and embarrassed the senior leadership. The solution? Give president total appointment power. So if you want into the Politburo, you don't campaign delegates, you campaign for one person, the president. The president appoints everybody who matters. Decisions are made by simple majorities, but the president has the casting vote. It's democracy if democracy was designed by someone who really hated democracy. To even qualify as president of Zimbabwe, you must be a citizen by birth or by descent. You must be at least 40 years old, ordinarily resident in Zimbabwe, and registered as a voter. And you can only serve 2 term limits. Although, as we are currently witnessing, that's more a suggestion than a rule when you have the party behind you and creative legal team. Big shout out to Ziyambi. In the transition from war heroes, we now have business heroes. Here's what the recent succession battles have revealed to me. Zanu PF is transitioning from liberation credentials to economic credentials. There's a coming that didn't hold guns in the bush. They hold degrees from Chinese universities, stock portfolios, and stuff. But before they take over, there's a breach generation. They are the political equivalent of legacy admissions. You didn't earn the spot, but your name opened every door. Let me explain. I'm not talking about who comes after Mnangagwa. I'm talking about who comes after the person who comes after Mnangagwa. This generation is defined. I take that back. This generation is undefined and unpredictable because Zanu PF, like every long-lived party, is absolutely full of opportunities. There are those who have mastered using politics, and there are those who spend careers being used by politics. There is no single path, but there are proven routes. And this is how you climb. Step number 1 is the cell level. You have to join your local style, show up, learn the song, master the choreography. This is where you prove you're willing to sit through a 6-hour meeting about nothing and write your name on it. Step number 2 is the branch. You get elected, you mobilize people, be seen. Start building your reputation as somebody who gets things done, even if the things is mostly organizing bus transport for riots. Step number 3 is the district. You build alliances across provinces. This is where factional gains begin. Step number 4 is the provincial executives. Now, you're on a national radar. Provincial leadership puts you in direct competition with other ambitious operators. This is where the 9 come out, figuratively, and occasionally literally. Step number 5 is the Central Committee, your breakthrough moment. 350 members elected or co-opted. This is now the big league. You're now in a meeting where actual decisions get spoken about, sometimes get made. Step number 6, the big Politburo. Appointed by the president, 49 seats become indispensable. Control a resource that the president needs, youth mobilization, business networks, military connections, or just be really good at making problems appear and then you make them disappear. This is where you become a post, a chef. Step number 7 is the cabinet. Get a strategic minister, whether it's the Minister of Defense, Home Affairs, Finance, or Information. Step number 8 is vice president. It's the final step before the top. But be warned, Zimbabwe vice presidents have a terrible track record. Joyce Mujuru purged, Emmerson Mnangagwa fired, and then cooled his way back. The vice president position is either a launching pad or a trap. Step number 9, you become the president. But wait, you have to survive. moves when the moment opens. And never forget, every rise to power is backed by money or the military. Preferably, you want both. Let me tell you about the flaws and the loophole. So flaw number one is there's no meritocracy. Competence means less than connections. You can be very brilliant and broke, or mediocre and well connected. Flaw number two is the military veto. If the generals don't like you, your career ends overnight. Ask Grace Mugaris how the 2017 succession plan went. Actually, don't answer. Probably in Singapore and doesn't want to talk about it. Flaw number three is the factional warfare. G40 versus Lacoste, Damatok versus G40, Mnangagwa versus Wenga. Every alliance is temporary. Every friend is a future enemy. Flaw number four, corruption works as a currency. You need money to build the base. Flaw number five, the age problem. Old men won't retire, so the young either wait or they revolt. These are imminent biological reality. I would like the president to stay for as long as he likes. But every flaw creates a loophole. And loophole number one is co-option. You can skip elections entirely if you're rich or useful enough. Tabwire just got co-opted into the Central Committee. Why? Because he's rich. Loophole number two, the presidential appointment. The president can promote anybody at any time. Family members, sure. Business partners, absolutely. Loophole number three is the constitutional amendment. Just change the law. Stay in power. ED or rev up. Here are the top 10 potential leaders in our generation I want to talk about. And these are ranked by what I call the probability of the presidency, not by virtue. If we ranked by virtue, I wouldn't have a list. Number 10 is a lady called Tabitha Kanengoni Malinga. I know you don't know her, but born in 1982. She was the youngest MP and cabinet minister under Mugabe. Her father set her up, and she delivered. Held senior positions before most people her age had LinkedIn profiles. She's educated, articulate, politically sharp. But she's been out of cabinet since 2018 now. And in Zanu, if you're not visible, you don't exist. She's at the bottom of the list not because she lacks talents. She's here because she's currently invisible. If she re-enters with a proper backing, she's married to the right guy who potentially should be on this list. I give her a probability of 6%. I know I'm going to surprise you, but number 9, Padzai Mahere. Yes, she is opposition, Cambridge-educated lawyer, former Triple C spokesperson, daughter of former permanent secretary who served under Mugabe. She quit Triple C in 2024. She resigns the MPC. She resigned as spokesperson. She's politically homeless. Here's the scenarios. Triple C is collapsing. Chamisa is quiet. The party is infiltrated, paralyzed, broke. Zanu PF has a long history of absorbing prominent opposition figures when useful. We use people who can be used. If Mahere feels the light and joins Zanu PF, she becomes our most valuable propaganda asset overnight. Her great education, human rights lawyer, she's in the ruling party. That's the headline that rehabilitates Zimbabwe internationally. Should get fast-tracked into the cabinet, probably foreign affairs. The party needs somebody who can talk to Western diplomats without making them immediately want to reach for the sanctions score. The probability that she joins Zanu PF is 20%. Number 8, Dr. Tatenda Mabetera, current Minister of ICT, former actress on Studio 263, Zimbabwe's most popular drama ever. She started the Women for ED. She represents the celebrity to politicians pipeline. It exists everywhere across the world. Smart, visible, loyal, but her ceiling is she'll probably become women's chair or chairperson one day. By probability, 8%. Number 7 is a kid called Campbell Mohadi Jr., son of Vice President Mohadi, rising in the Air Force. His sister was once the Deputy Youth Council chair. His father was the top cop before becoming vice president, knows every body and where it is buried. If he stays clean, rises into the senior military ranks, and his father successfully navigates covering factional wars, he will make it. I give him a 12% probability. Number 6, John Paradza, Deputy Minister of Environment, age 33, started in the Youth League, became a single provincial youth chairperson. His business background, Mishikashita. I give him a 5% probability. Number 5 is Dr. Jenfan Muswere, the Minister of Information, 2 PhDs. During November 2017, I worked a lot with him. He provided offices that we used to call the Pentagon, the literal command center for the coup operation. All the supplies show up when we needed them. He's trusted by both Mnangagwa Sr. and Emmerson Jr. Camera shy. He's a loyalist operator. I give him a 50% probability. Number 4, Donald Karumbira, Minister at Zimbabwe's UN mission in New York plenipotentiary, son of Chief Fortune Karumbira, President of the Pan-African Parliament, former World Youth Forum leader, intelligence postings in London and then in New York. The chief system is crucial to party control. Chief mobilize rural areas and deliver votes. A chief's son or younger brother with UN credentials and great youth organizing history is gold. I give him 35% probability. Number 3 is David Kudakwashe Mnangagwa, currently the Deputy Minister of Finance, is 36 years old, son of the president, a poor degree from Drake University, LLBs from University of Zimbabwe. He is considered the guy who's in charge of the business interests of the president. He represents dynastic succession. But here's the thing. Nepotism only matters if you let power to enforce it. Deputy finance positionings, you have control over contracts, tenders, forex allocation, the actual levels of patronage. Every corridor of power has a Mnangagwa. That's the probability of 40% to become president. Number 2, Tino Machakaire, born 1982, Minister of Youth Empowerment, Secretary of Youth Affairs in Zanu PF, MP for Weather South, owns the business. Teen Mac Investment started with 1 truck in 2007, now runs over 300 state-of-the-art vehicles across Southern Africa. Machakaire is the prototype for post-liberation success. His transport company is very, very well run. He's a great mobilizer. He belongs to the Apostolic Church, Joe Wan Marangi. To me, Srino Machakaire represents a youth leader who has genuinely earned everything that he has. He just also happens to be liked by very rich people. Now, if the Mnangagwa factually consolidates, Machakaire is future vice president or party chairman material. Machakaire has no reason to not become president. That is clear. Number 1 is Emmerson Jr., the eldest son of the president. He's not in official government. He runs very, very successful businesses in mining and energy. He may be Pokelonare, who is Zimbabwe's Kim Kardashian. He's on the sanctions list, but that doesn't matter. Here is what you must know about Emmerson Jr. He is brutally sharp. He is incredibly decisive. He is everything that his father is, but younger, faster, and better. I know Emmerson Jr. personally. In fact, I went to school with him. He was my senior. Let me tell you something. I have never met a more incredibly gifted young politician who knows how to hold power while you give power. He's my number 1. I gave him a probability of 60% that he reaches at least the vice president position, 40% that he becomes president. Emmerson Jr. is the crown prince. Now let me break it down and let me put it this way. He has a brother who's rising very, very steadily in the special forces. He has another brother who is the go-to guy for all Chinese investors in the country. So you got China on your back, who's also very trusted by the Russians. He's got another brother who's the deputy minister of finance, another brother who's the deputy minister of tourism, and every powerful man and woman in Zimbabwe is his aunt or his uncle. Why would he not become president? Now, I don't think the fact that he is Mnangagwa's son is why he becomes president. I think the fact that he's Mnangagwa's son makes it more inevitable. Zanu PF succession battles are very predictable, precisely because they're not democratic. The post-liberation generation is starting to learn that choreography. Some people will master it, some will be consumed by it. But until next time, head back. I love it.